They laughed at his slow movements, called him just an old instructor. But when 3 attackers forced their way into the dojo and threatened his students, 58-year-old Sensei Bob Mitchell did something that silenced the entire room. Because some skills never fade. They just hide beneath a calm surface. Welcome to Tales of Valor. Before we continue this powerful story, tell us in the comments which city you're watching from today. And if you believe stories like this deserve to be heard, hit that subscribe button completely free to support our channel. Sensei Robert Bob Mitchell was 58 years old and worked as a martial arts instructor at Dragon Spirit Dojo in Phoenix. For 3 years, he'd been teaching basic movements, patiently working with young students. Nobody knew his real background. The young students called him Old Bob. Some said cruder things. Jake Thompson, 22, was an MMA-obsessed student who thought very highly of himself. "This old guy doesn't know real fighting," he'd complain to his friends. "His movements are slow, his techniques are outdated." Mike Anderson would add, "Bob has never seen real combat. He just learned from old movies. He doesn't know modern MMA." Sarah Williams would laugh. "How much strength could the old guy have left? We're younger, faster, stronger." Tyler Johnson would join in. "What Bob teaches doesn't work on the street. Real life is different." Bob ignored all of it. Every evening from 1800 to 2100, he taught classes, patiently repeating basic movements, never speaking harshly. But Bob knew things. He knew which points on every body to strike, which movements would save lives in which situations, how to kill. That evening was different. The dojo was running its normal training session. Bob was calmly teaching Jake a basic blocking technique. Other students were working in pairs. The door burst open violently. 3 men entered. Tattooed, large, armed with knives. They were known gang members who terrorized the neighborhood. "Where's the money?" the leader shouted. "We're collecting weekly protection from this dojo." Master Chen wasn't there, just Bob and 7 young students. The students backed away in fear. Even Jake froze. "We don't have money," Bob said in a calm voice. "Please leave." "Old man, are you giving us orders?" The leader walked toward Bob, showing his knife. Bob didn't move from his position. Only his stance shifted slightly. "I'm asking one last time. Leave, or what are you going to do, Grandpa?" The second man tried to get behind Bob. The third approached from the side. Bob's movement was lightning fast. In 1 second, the leader was on the ground, wrist broken, knife far away. The second man hit the wall, unconscious. The third couldn't stand up, kneecap dislocated. 3 seconds. 3 men. No permanent damage on any of them, but completely neutralized. The silence in the dojo was deafening. The students stared at Bob, frozen. This movement wasn't in any textbook.
"How is this possible?" Jake stammered.
Bob calmly pulled out his cell phone and called police. Then he knelt beside the attackers, checking their pulses. "They're all fine," he said. "Just unconscious. They'll wake up in 10 minutes. Mike Anderson's mouth hung open. "Sensei, who are you really?" Bob remained silent for a long time. Then he slightly lifted his t-shirt, showing the faded tattoo on his arm. "Army Special Forces, Green Beret." Everyone froze. "Special Forces?" Sarah's voice trembled. "You were a real Green Beret?" 1985 to 2010, Bob answered calmly. 25 years in Special Forces, combat instructor. But now I'm just a martial arts teacher. Tyler approached. "Sensei, we said you were. You thought I was old and useless," Bob smiled. "You were right, too. I am old, but some things are never forgotten." Jake stepped forward and bowed. "Sensei, we apologize. We didn't recognize who you were." "You didn't need to recognize me," Bob replied. "I'm just your instructor." Police arrived 10 minutes later. The attackers were just waking up, confused and frightened. That night, when Master Chen returned and learned what happened, he thanked Bob, but Bob just shrugged. "Protecting my students is my duty," he said. The next day, The dojo was different. Nobody called Bob old man anymore. They called him Sensei and bowed with respect. Jake approached Bob. "Sensei, would you teach us real special forces techniques?" Bob thought about it. Real techniques are only used for protection, not for attack. Can you understand that? They all nodded seriously. "Then we can begin. But first you'll learn discipline. Real strength comes from control." From that day forward, training at Dragon Spirit Dojo changed. Bob was still the patient, humble teacher, but now students knew their instructor wasn't just teaching movements, he was teaching the art of survival. A new sign was hung in the dojo. "True strength is silent. A true warrior preserves peace." The lesson learned that night was never forgotten. Never judge someone by their appearance, because even the calmest-looking people can possess extraordinary power. If this story moved you, subscribe to our channel completely free, hit that like button, and write respect in the comments. Because at Tales of Valor, we believe the most powerful stories don't shout, they wait quietly.